Welcome back to Growthsup, the video blog and project for all those who hate selling but need to increase customers and revenue. If you need more customers but the thought of selling to them makes you feel stressed and uncomfortable, then this is where you need to be, where you can learn to increase customers and revenue without the hassle of selling scripts and processes and manipulative sales techniques, and you can feel good about yourself at the same time. My name is Bruce Lawson, author of Growthsup, and this is my 5th tip to help you ensure your Growthsup. Growthsup, as you know, stands for generating revenue without the hassle of sales whilst uplifting performance. As we've seen, to have a natural conversation with a potential customer, all you need to do is smile, just have a nice chat, and stay on the right path. Now we're going to add to that how to break through the noise, something that distorts understanding in a conversation. Breaking through the noise will ensure an effective and natural conversation where both of you understand exactly what is being said without presumption, assumption, or error. As this is a large subject, we're going to break it down into 2 parts. Part 1 this week will look at the first 3 elements, while part 2 next week will look at the remaining elements and summarise the whole subject. So, N.O.I.S.E stands for N, negative expectations, O, obstinate beliefs, I, individual image and self-worth, S, scared state, and E, experiences in the past. You need to understand that the noise in the customer's head may distort your natural conversation and make it harder for you to have that relaxed, natural chat. Being aware of the customer's noise means you can watch out for it, understand it, and counter it, just as you would a friend who was distracted or wasn't paying attention when you were talking to them. First, let me explain what the noise consists of. Then we will look at the formula which will help you identify and counter the distortion the noise generates in the customer's mind. All encounters are subject to noise as a distortion of communication. That is because we do not come to an encounter completely free of ourselves or past experience. Noise is made up of that previous experience, especially if it was negative and triggered feelings of guilt, fear, or resentment. For example, the last time your customer spoke to a salesperson, they were rude and bullying. So their subconscious noise is the expectation that this encounter may well be the same. In addition, the noise is made up of that person's set of personal beliefs and self-worth. So, if a belief might be, all salesmen are liars, that will distort the message you're trying to project. If the customer's self-worth suggests, I am weak, that will colour how the customer feels and perceives the conversation. The noise is made up of perceptions and assumptions, not truth. So you have to be aware of the possibility of these negative perceptions and assumptions colouring how you are heard. Once you are aware of these potential distortions, as we shall see, it is easy to counter them using the Growthsup model in a natural and relaxed way. In summary, a quote that works for me is, knowledge shapes action, focused action ensures positive transaction. So, now we know what the noise consists of, let's use the formula to understand and counter it. The first part of the formula is N for negative expectations. Depending on past experience, the customer, before you say a word, may already have negative expectations. These will be based on, among other things, bad past experiences, a bad salesman last time, gossip and having a generalized negative worldview. For example, believing everyone is out to take advantage of them and the world is a bad, dangerous place. Maybe their state of mind when engaging with you. For example, they got up this morning and lost their keys or stubbed their toe or are running late. Any physical or physiological problems they may be experiencing. Think how hard it is to be positive when you have a chronic pain or headache, or are worried about money or the children. And finally, any negative environmental aspects. For example, here, they were just in a traffic jam or crammed in a train and the weather is too hot, or they're suffering from a lack of sleep. All of these will affect them. So, being aware of this negativity, what is the solution? As long as you are aware of the signs that your customer can be distracted by negative expectations, then you can, in a natural way, during your conversation, address these negative expectations so that what you say reinforces a positive view rather than a negative one. And in my book, you will find specific examples of the noise distortion and how to counter it. The second part of the formula is the O in N.O.I.S.E, which stands for Obstinate Beliefs. Everyone you talk to has a set of beliefs they live their life by and which informs their values and worldview. Though these can be changed, some beliefs are obstinate and are difficult to challenge and will affect how someone hears and sees you. Obstinate beliefs often are generalizations based on limited experience. For example, all salesmen are con artists. All salesmen try to rip you off. People are not honest. I'm weak and I'll be taken advantage of. The solution to these obstinate beliefs is, again, understanding and being aware of their possible existence. That knowledge will help you have a relaxed, natural conversation that will not confront these beliefs, but gently guide your customer away from any of these blocks towards a more relaxed, natural flow. This can lead to an exchange that is mutually beneficial and much more relaxing. If you know they're there and are alert for them, then it's much easier once identified to steer the conversation to the positive and away from the negative beliefs that they might represent. So, the third part of the formula is an important one, and the I in that which concerns a person's individual image and their perception of self-worth. One of the things to be aware of, just as you would do when talking to a friend, is how a person perceives themselves will affect how they interpret what you say. There are several factors in how people view themselves and their value or self-worth. Each need to be treated differently. First of all, we have the high self-worth individual. This is someone who is confident and relaxed in themselves and will hear and react well to positive messages. They do not feel threatened or intimidated and enjoy and respond well to a natural, relaxed chat. The approach to these individuals is to use your relaxed, natural manner, which they will happily embrace. Your discussion, your choices and options will engage smoothly with them, making the conversation easy. The nice chat will flow naturally to a positive conclusion. In contrast, we have the low self-worth individual. This is someone who may feel intimidated and fearful of your normal, natural chat and can be resistant to suggestions and options. They may be less assertive and therefore may not feel comfortable communicating with you. They may feel shy about saying how they really feel or read negative subtext into your positive message. The approach here is that with this kind of person, a gentle, slower, open and consultative type of dialogue should be used, which will result in a better, more natural flow and improved exchange. In addition to self-worth, there are also externally and internally referenced individuals to consider. Whether high or low self-worth, they can be either externally or internally referenced, and different approaches are needed for both. The externally referenced individual bases their self-worth on the need for the approval of others, which can cause them to surrender control. They outsource responsibility for their identity and emotional well-being to other people, needing others to think the best of them and validate their choices and existence. Externally referenced individuals have to consistently seek the approval of others because without it there's no sense of self to maintain them, no inner core of worth. Relying on that external validation is power sapping. Without an internal source, they rely on external approval, which can greatly increase their fragility. So, the approach here is that when talking to such people, It is important that you validate their choices as much as possible, and if necessary, engage and involve family, colleagues or friends. This will help them feel comfortable with the options and choices that the relaxed, natural, nice chat is offering them. If you build in external validation, such as endorsements and recommendations, then you will find the exchange goes even more smoothly. The conversation is relaxed and the result will be positive. For internally referenced individuals, you need to understand that they reference their decision-making process and choices on how they feel within themselves. This referencing is from the core of their being and not from some outside source. This means that ultimately, the source of esteem and satisfaction comes from within. Internally referenced individuals believe their own intrinsic value regardless of how others see them. Your approach here is that your natural conversation should focus on them and on what they're interested in and what helps them make their choices. They want facts they can consider, not outside referencing or endorsements. So, we have looked at the N, O and I in noise. Next time we'll continue with the S and the E. And to recap, knowledge shapes action, focused action ensures positive transaction. I'm Bruce Lawson, thank you for watching, and remember, greet the day with a smile and the day will smile back. Till the next time.